Morning, HAD gang. It's your boy, HAD the Hustler. Welcome to the Hustler's home. I came across some interesting tweet from the WBO welterweight champion of the world, former unified 140-pound champion Terrence Bud Crawford. And after last night, Errol Spence Jr. went to the Canelo fight, and he said that he's willing to make the fight with Terrence Bud Crawford if he's willing to settle for the 60-40 or maybe even the 70-30, which I feel like the fight there's a 70-30 because of the pay-per-views and all that, but Bud thinks that he's the A side, but neither here nor there. He came across, when I went across Twitter, he tweeted, well, I'm done. They thought it was me. He's done with the fight. Well, if he's done with the Errol Spence fight, who is he gonna fight? Like, who do you think? All right, okay, Sean Porter, former WBC welterweight champion. Sean Porter is his mandatory, so he's gonna have to fight Sean Porter. But if he don't fight Sean Porter, who is he gonna fight? Keith Thurman has called him out. Keith Thurman, who's a former 147-pound unified champion, has called him out. He don't want no smoke with him. He don't want no smoke with Sean Porter. He said that first he said they was friends, and then Sean Porter was like, friendship aside, this is business, we can fight. He shows no interest in fighting him. He shows no interest in fighting Danny Garcia. He shows no interest in fighting nobody that's not in Top Rank. I feel like he just content with where he's at, even though that he is a Hall of Famer, because he's a Hall of Famer at junior welterweight, because he did unify against some who's who had the belts, Ndongo and people that don't nobody know, but us hardcore fans, you know. But I feel like Bud Crawford, he's too sensitive, man. Like, as far as like promoting fights and stuff, he's an introvert, so he does need help from his promoter. And I feel like his promoter Bob Arum is kind of failing him because his personality. He not like an Adrian Broner that's gonna go out there and flash his chains and be on Instagram and Twitter, promoting himself and what he's doing and how he living and all that. Bud is kind of quiet, so he needs his promoter, but his promoter is saying that he's tired of investing money in him because he's not making no money off of him, which is understandable. So if he's not making any money off of Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford ain't interested in fighting these top welterweights, who is he gonna fight? I have no clue who Terrence Crawford can possibly fight his next fight if it's not Sean Porter for the mandatory position of the WBO. I don't know one single person that would be worthy enough to get a shot at the title and it be a fight that everybody that is going to watch this fight is not going to complain about. Because what's going to happen is Bud is going to end up not having any opponents. And the trend of him not, quote unquote, selling, or the trend of him not evolving into the star that I believe that he should be, because Terrence Bud Crawford is actually a very, very, very talented fighter. He can do it all, man. I just like he just don't. It's like he's not interested. It's like he's not interested in big fights. He's not interested in competitive fights, because even though he was at 140, he was undisputed champion. I mean, his best win is still His best win is still Kell Brook at 147 pounds, which was I don't like to call Kell Brook washed, but I mean, he was washed. You know what I mean? But I don't want to call him. I'm not that comfortable calling him washed because I don't want to sound like a hater, and I don't want to discredit a fighter that I respect and I like to watch fight, and he's one of my favorite fighters. But he just moved like a, you know what I mean? He moved like a hoe, bro. Like, I feel like Terrence Crawford is, he got his ways, man. He got his ways that a brother like myself I cannot agree with, because I'm the type of person that if you call me out, man, you got to see me outside in the yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Keith Thurman running his mouth. I feel like Bud will smoke Keith Thurman, but that's a 50-50 fight. But in my opinion, Bud will smoke Keith Thurman, man. Like, Keith Thurman would be Bud's most competitive and most difficult fight of his career. That would be his legacy fight, because I mean, Keith Thurman got a loss, but it's against Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? And he did well. I feel like he fell asleep behind the wheel in the beginning of the fight because he felt like Manny Pacquiao was old, and Manny Pacquiao caught him, boom, put his ponytail on the ground. He shot back up, and then, like, after a couple of rounds, after he made the adjustment, he shook the ring rust off because he was on the hiatus. He made the fight competitive. It could have even, I don't think it could have been no draw, but it was a good competitive fight. So he calling Terrence Bud Crawford off a loss. Really, nobody's gonna sit here and act like that they don't agree with that call out, because I agree with that. I want Terrence Bud Crawford to fight the top guys in the welterweight division, because I don't feel like he's gonna go up to 154. You know, there's only two options, in my opinion, if he don't want to fight the top guys at 147, because I don't think any of those guys are moving up or down. You know what? I take that back. Sean Porter could move up to 154, because I believe I heard in the amateurs he fought up to like don't quote me, I think up to 160. I think he beat Alexander Usyk in the amateurs, but that was a big dude, you know what I'm saying? But he's way smaller than he was back then. Now, you know, but he's probably the only one that's capable of moving up. Danny Garcia is not capable of moving up because he don't, in my opinion, his power doesn't carry. His power doesn't carry to the upper echelon of 147 pounders, so I don't feel like his power wouldn't carry up to the 154 pound division, especially when you got guys like Jamal Charlo, you know what I mean, Erickson Lubin and all those guys up in there. He's not going to be able to knock those guys out. And then you're going to have who else is there? Ortiz. Ortiz is pretty good. I mean, Virgil Ortiz, he's pretty good. That would be a good match. I feel like Virgil Ortiz would be a good match for Bud, and it would be a cheaper match. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't cost that much, because I feel like Bud's being held back by money. I don't feel like Bud is ducking anybody, but I feel like all his fights is being held back by money. He's just showing lack of interest because he don't want to, you know what I mean? He's showing a little bit of blind. He's showing a little bit of blind allegiance to Bob Arum, even though Bob Arum took a dump on his name several times in the public. But he's just so loyal, blind loyalty. That's the word I was looking for. He's so loyal to Bob. You know what I'm saying? I feel him though. Bob put food on the table. Bob made him rich. You know what I mean? But that'll be cheap. That'll be a good fight for probably early next year if he don't get this Earl Spence Jr. fight. But that's the only fight I want from him. Like, he could do whatever he want after he fight Earl Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Me being a selfish boxer fan, I want to see the biggest fights, you know? I want to see Bud Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. Then I want to see Bud Crawford and Sean Porter. And then I want to see Bud Crawford and Keith Thurman. I want to see Bud Crawford and Danny Garcia. I want to see Bud Crawford fight all these guys. So I want to see the same thing with EJ. Even though EJ not gonna fight, Keith Thurman, I want to see that fight because I feel like he should beat Keith Thurman ass. He want to just shit on Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman shitted on him by not letting him fight, but I want to see him beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He already didn't beat up the big two out of the big, what? 1, 2, 3, big four. He might well beat that dude up. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But back to this, the conversation at hand with the Bud Crawford. If any of you guys out there know who Bud Crawford could possibly fight if he doesn't fight these top 5 welterweights, who do you think that he's gonna fight next? Because he talking like he has hella choices. I sure hope that he don't fight the people at the bottom of Bob Arum's stable. Because that's how you got the Kell Brook fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though Kell Brook is not in Bob Arum's stable, he still reached he still reached with that. He reached big time with that fight. The only reason why people accepted that fight is because that's an opponent in common with Earl Spence Jr. But if you know who Bud Crawford gonna fight, just put a little comment in the comment section and let me know who you think that Bud Crawford next opponent should be. I personally don't know because he didn't damn decline all the dudes I mess with. You know what I mean? All the dudes that I want to see him fight, he already done put it out in a public forum that he ain't even messing with him. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, HAD, the Hustler. The Hustler's home. Welcome to the Hustler's home. Don't forget to wipe your feet. You know what I mean? Peace.